Hello, everyone. We are super excited that you guys are joining us for this session. I am Jeevan Patil, and with me, I have.
Marko Tisler. Hi everyone.
Hey, Marko, last time when you came to Extreme Connect, you talked about the vision of Copilot. Are we going to see the real thing today? Are we going to see the demo?
Yes, you will. So last year, we trialed CoPilot for the help of our GTech organization, and the insights were delivered into the hands of our customers with the help of our GTech engineers. This year, we're bringing those insights directly into our customers' hands through ExtremeCloud IQ CoPilot.
That's awesome, Marco. Let's dig right into it. And if you guys didn't see the session last time, don't worry. We're going to tell you about it right now, and then we're going to jump into the demo. So first, let's start, by highlighting. Look, this has been an incredible last year with everybody working out of homes, right? I mean, this is where we are looking at the infinite enterprise. What's the infinite enterprise about? When you have distributed connectivity, when you have an infinitely scalable cloud. But really, the biggest focus is the customer experience. This is where there are three tenets of the infinite enterprise. The first is cloud, right? I mean, of course, you need a cloud to actually manage everything in a simple manner, be able to scale, be able to have the flexibility for this and offer new capabilities, as customers are able to consume. The second part of it is data. I mean, all of us are engineers here. We love data. Data is the real currency. We use the data to make meaningful derivations. We understand insights from here, and we inform our customers to make the right choice. And the third part of this is mobility. Of course, every person wants to be connected all the time, and this is all about mobility. This is why these are the three pillars of the infinite enterprise. So now let's start digging into the concept of Copilot. Firstly, networks are complex. Look, I've spent the last 20 years in networking, and you guys can understand that when I visit a customer, whenever I visit you guys, it's essentially you are spending most of your IT time flying solo. Typically, you have three screens in front of you. You've got a lot of different windows. You've got a lot of different applications trying to figure out what went wrong, trying to debug, diagnose this issue. This is where every single app is going to give you an alert, a ding, an alarm. This is where you have so many alarms that are happening. You have no way to actually even figure out what should I look at and what should I ignore. This is what's happening right now. What's worse is one of these applications acts like a know-it-all, and it says, we know your network has this problem, do this. And if you are an IT administrator like me, you are not going to trust that, right? This is the problem that all of you are facing with. So now introducing ExtremeCloud IQ's CoPilot. This is where, look, in the last many decades, if you ever entered an airplane, now I know all of you guys are thinking, I can't wait to get back on an airplane right now, but imagine this. I mean, in the last several years, every time you get inside the airplane, you turn to the left, you will see a pilot and you will see a co-pilot, right? Every time the pilot is about to fly, you know that there are so many different machines that are actually informing the pilot about what to do, what to pay attention to, what to ignore, right? This is the same analogy we have. Every enterprise network should have a co-pilot that's constantly alerting you, constantly providing you feedback. But most of the time, it's telling you, please continue to ignore any of the minor alarms. Everything is good. That's really what the vision of the Copilot is. We reduce the risk because we are detecting the anomalies that reduce your risk. The third part is because you know what to focus on and what to ignore, you are saving time and effort. That's really where Copilot really shines. How is this unique? A lot of people keep talking about different types of capabilities that deal with AI ops. Extreme's approach is really unique in a couple of senses. First and foremost, we are very thoughtful in what types of use cases we actually target with machine learning and artificial intelligence. Look, this is a really hard science. You've got a lot of data, petabytes of data, right, Marco? I mean, there is so much data that we deal with every single day. And this amount of data has to be sorted, it has to be organized, it has to be dealt with properly. And then we have to look at it. But not every use case requires this complexity. This is why it's important to understand what use cases you want to target with machine learning and artificial intelligence. And the second part of this is all of this is fueled by the unlimited data duration. Only Extreme offers unlimited data. What does this data give you? It gives you more accuracy. You can do trending, you can do analysis, you can look at seasonality. Nobody else offers this in the industry. This is why Extreme's Copilot is unique. Now, the next part to keep in mind is, it reduces risk. So you don't have to wait for something to happen, something negative to happen before we alert or alarm you. We actually look at it in a proactive manner. We look at the different anomalies. We will plot a normal for you, for your network in every different branch, every different campus environment. And then we will essentially tell you where you have breached that particular normal. And then because of that, you know that there is a proactive anomaly detection, versus a reactive threshold. I mean, you don't want to get yet another alarm, whether it is through your own log files, whether it is through an alerts or alarms, or sending it to a third-party management system. And now, Marco, look, I mean, we've had the concept of a pilot. So what's Copilot about? Can you tell me about the two different levels?
Absolutely. So Copilot builds on top of the same data that we've collected with Pilot. And the main difference is with Pilot, we apply the tenets of observability. And probably most of you will be familiar with our 360 views. And what those are is we collect the data, we aggregate it, and then we present in a way that will highlight areas of interest and areas you might want to dig into with regards to client performance, infrastructure performance, or just overall network health. So the tenant there is, how's my network doing, and do I need to dig into anything? That is where the 360 views go. And with Copilot, we basically automate the other part of the pilot interaction, which is we look at the charts for you, we look at the data for you, we look at patterns, we compare patterns, we look at the logs. And so basically we scan through the data looking for things that are not okay, things that are abnormal, and we flag them. And what's important there is an IT department or even a network operations center, with the amount of work and different systems and data sources that you have today, there's no way a person can go through all of those charts on a daily basis. They're gonna, one difference between a human and a machine is a human will sooner or later make a mistake. A machine will not. Machine will be able to analyze those accurately and spot, small trending patterns or small anomalies much quicker than a human would. So that is what Copilot brings to the table. With regards to how we do it, so the data comes from our network devices or from the network edge, switches, access points, they all fuel our data pipeline, and the data ends up in our ExtremeCloud IQ cloud. Most data points you will be able to see or access either by interacting with our front end. So you're going to see charts, you're going to see logs, you're going to see multiple data points all over the place in our UI, or you can interact with the data using APIs. But what we also do at the back of this is we have a team of data scientists that build algorithms that also goes through this data like a human would, or more accurately. And with the knowledge that is provided by our GTech organization, together we can find and pinpoint those use cases and their root causes that are most useful to our customers, providing those insights again directly into the customer's hands. Last year, the delivery of the insights and the root cause analysis was done with the help of our GTech organization. This year, we're bringing that directly into the product, so you can benefit from it directly. The number one tenet that we really strongly believe in, and it also has a lot of support in the industry and in the research, is explainable AI. So ExtremeCloud IQ is a network management system, and as such, it's an expert system. And the difference between the way AI is usually applied in our day-to-day lives, like when you go and watch Netflix or you go on Amazon, there's recommender systems that don't really have to explain themselves. They don't have to tell you why they've made a certain decision or why something popped up. And to be honest, you as a user don't even care. It's not important. It's not that important for you. Whereas if that system is 90% accurate and it's wrong 10% of the time, it doesn't matter. You don't care. Now, with an expert system, if you're right 90% of the time and wrong 10% of the time, what are the implications of being wrong? What are the implications of those 10%? It could be catastrophic. So for that reason, explainable AI is there to make sure that you as the user, as a network administrator, as the person with authority and responsibility for network operations, understand why a certain decision was taken, and you can override it if you disagree. But more importantly, through constant interaction between yourself and the AI, you will know when it's right, you will know when it's wrong, and you'll be able to give it feedback with regards to, oh, this actually doesn't apply to my environment, maybe because there's nothing I can do about it, or I've learned to live with it, or it doesn't bother me. It's okay. Even if it's mathematically anomalous, I'm fine with that. So that way we can bring down the number of alarms to a bare minimum and only notify you about those things that you really, really care about or that are really, really painful. Now, you can't do that with a black box approach, because a black box is going to give you a classification. It's going to tell you how sure it is that it's right, and then it's done. There's nothing else for you to hang on as an expert other than, oh, I'm 90% sure that this is an anomaly, and good luck. The example I can share from an actual customer interaction was, we had uh, a we had a problem detected in a school district. Now, the customer wasn't aware about the problem, and this is where the Copilot shines. It shines with things that are intermittent or not yet fully perceived and not binary by nature. So it's not like, oh, I have a network down situation. Everybody can notify you about that. You don't need a machine learning on AI to tell you that your network is down or that your house is on fire. What's more important is to find out that there's something happening intermittently that is causing a perceived problem with the user experience. The problem with those types of issues is it usually takes days or weeks to figure out. You have to do lots of log collections. There's lots of customer interviews, and you know how the human memory is. Like if a problem was happening yesterday, all of the evidence is anecdotal, whereas we have that evidence in the data. And if we have an intelligence we can apply to that data, we're able to tell you what it is. And this is exactly what happened here. So CoPilot discovered that there was an access point with a flapping PoE mode. So it was flapping between PoE plus and PoE. And if you looked at it, you'd say, okay, nothing unusual. But what was also happening is actually the AP, as a result, was flapping between multiple spatial streams and less spatial stream, depending on which PoE mode it was using. So the capabilities of the AP towards its clients were going on and off, on and off, on and off, which resulted in degraded client experience. And by pinpointing the problem and recommending our customer to change the cabling or just rewire that AP to somewhere else, the problem went away. And what was interesting was the discussion, which was around, oh, we didn't know we had a problem, or we know we had a problem at this specific point, and all the evidence with regards to performance was anecdotal. We weren't even sure the problem was there, whereas the user experience was definitely affected. So we were able to stabilize the deployment, which helped with user experience. And because this is a school district, at the end of the day, a more stable network, a more reliable network also results in better learning outcomes.
That's awesome. It looks like so we've spent like last 6 months doing a private beta with so many customers, and it's pretty incredible that before we actually roll out the public beta, we are actually confirming using GTAG that all of these are real issues with customers.
That is right. So everyone, you're invited to come fly with ExtremeCloud IQ CoPilot this June. where we launch our public test flight, or what we call our ExtremeCloud IQ public beta, which is going to be available to all of our customers with pilot licenses. The only other thing you will need is you will need to be running your Wi-Fi infrastructure on IQ Engine version 10.x or higher.
Awesome. So how do I sign up for it?
As long as you have a pilot license, you're already there.
Awesome. All right. So show us the demo, Marko.
Absolutely. So in June, once our public beta is up and running, you're going to have two ways of accessing CoPilot. One is there's going to be a new notification screen up here that basically tells you what anomalies popped up since the last time you logged in. The other part is on the left-hand side, there's going to be a new icon that says CoPilot. And what you'll see is this is your one view of your network operations. So it gives you two different types of information. One is it looks at your network lifecycle and gives you insights and intelligence about your network lifecycle. How well are your devices doing in terms of being up and running and connected to ExtremeCloud IQ. So if, for example, you can see trends in here, if you've been deploying to more and more locations and you've been expanding your deployment footprint, you can see how that affected the uptime. Was it worse? Was it better? So you have a very quick overview in here. Same thing with client sessions and data traffic. So how much has your client session patterns and data traffic patterns been changing over time? And one of the things you also see is you're probably wondering, all these updates that Extreme does, how many things I'm getting, what new things, and how many new things I'm actually getting. So this is captured in here. So every time we roll out a new version or update the ExtremeCloud IQ platform, we roll out new features, and you'll be able to see how those features increase in here. So hopefully, Jeevan, we're going to see an exponential rise in this curve over the next months and years.
Absolutely.
The second part is with regards to your inventory and with your devices, infrastructure devices themselves. It's around what firmware am I running? Oh, how do I see the release notes for my firmware? Everything is accessible from a single place, because what we want to achieve with CoPilot, and this is only the initial, sneak peek of it, we want to achieve a single context for everything. This is, if you're an ExtremeCloud IQ customer, this is how you interact with the Extreme ecosystem. This is the place. So there's configuration, there's onboarding, it happens in other parts of ExtremeCloud IQ, but this is the operational view. This is where you go to see your daily tasks. This is where you see the intelligence about your network expansion. This is the intelligence where you see, what's coming down the line, or what are the immediate things I need to look into from my day-to-day operations perspective. The ExtremeCloud IQ applications is going to let you know which applications are available. So other than ExtremeCloud IQ itself, what else is there? Extreme Air Defense Essentials. Are you using any of these? And if you don't know what it is, you can click on the link, and we're going to tell you for an educational video and accessing the documentation. Okay, how do I enroll into this? What it is, what it gives me as a customer, and if I'm interested, hey, this is where I can jump in and subscribe myself to this part of the product.
That's awesome. I can see videos and details of this, everything inside the product itself.
And the best thing for you, licenses. So all the licenses that you have as a customer, they are captured in here. Everything that you have available, how much of that is consumed. And we also plan to notify you if something's going to expire in the future.
Great.
The immediate operational part is here on the left-hand side. And these are all the widgets that are related to anomalies. These are operational anomalies in your network infrastructure. So anything that's really, really wrong, or any patterns that are developing, they're captured in here. And this is where the false alarm reduction part comes into play. So we make sure that anything we surface in here, it's real. So we've scanned the data, and we've made sure, we've made our due diligence that this is actually anomalous. It's not just a threshold crossing event.
Nice.
We scan your environment on a regular basis. And we're going to show you historically, how those scans progress, but more importantly, when have we found anomalies? So let's say you, at some point, you deployed a new site, and after you deployed that site, your anomaly spikes up. You'll be able to see that trend over here. So you can then quickly, correlate, oh, that particular deployment or that upgrade I did, something's wrong there. That might be one of the causes. But more importantly, in your day-to-day, down here, you're going to see different anomalies. We have two types in this particular deployment, so two different classes of problems. One is Wi-Fi efficiency, which is your Wi-Fi is not doing so well, and the other one is Wi-Fi capacity, which usually results in a very interesting comment, which is, oh, the Wi-Fi is so slow.
Got it.
So what we also do is we classify those, A, by location, and B, by severity. And by severity, what we're trying to determine is how bad is it? And what does that mean? It means there's a difference between an anomaly happening or a problem happening during working hours when there's 60 clients connected to the AP, or if a very bad problem is happening outside of the business hours and one client is connected. Those are two different types of severities. One is severely impacting users in prime time, the other one isn't. So we try to label that and give you an indication of what you need to tackle first. And you obviously can also sort based on severity, location, and time-wise, what happened the last.
That's awesome. And if I don't know what does Wi-Fi efficiency mean, I want to understand more. What do I do?
So we provide more content around this in here. So this icon is going to open up a window for you where you can access more resources. And there's currently two types of resources we're tying in. One is our friend Isaac, who, by the way, you have to watch his Network Academy, Extreme Network Academy videos. They're awesome. He's also shared some tidbits and insights around what a particular problem is, what a particular anomaly is, and how to fix it. And the other part that we're tying in is the knowledge base articles from our GTech organization. So basically over here, we'll be gathering articles around a particular problem or particular anomaly, and you can go in there and read more about it. So we'll explain why a particular problem is happening, what are the common causes, and how to fix them, which is the most important bit.
That's amazing. We have a dedicated knowledge base article and a video per anomaly.
That is correct.
That's brilliant.
And it's only going to grow. The other cool part, though, is remember the explainable AI bit I kept talking about? So we don't just raise events in here, we explain them. So if I open up my anomaly, I have two anomalies across this location, so two different devices. It's happening on a 5 gigahertz spectrum. It's a medium impact, so fairly interesting. And what I can see is, oh, this particular device is displaying unusual data rate in the RX direction, so from client to the AP. And all the devices are of the same type. They're all Android operating system devices. So all the devices that are not devices that are connected, devices that are anomalous, because we also do an anomaly score or anomaly scoring, not just for infrastructure devices, but for clients. So all these clients, all the ones that are anomalous are Android, which means the rest of them are okay, which leads me to believe there's something wrong with the fact I'm connecting these Android devices to this AP, which could be a compatibility issue or even a driver issue. Maybe I recently upgraded these Android devices to something that doesn't really work well. And in fact, I've upgraded my phone recently and I ran into a similar problem.
Now, Marco, what happens if this particular thing did not solve my problem, or it actually helped me solve my problem? How do I let you know?
So two things. The first one is if what's popping up on your screen isn't exactly what tells you what the problem is, you can still explore the data itself. So you can turn individual clients on and off. This one's pretty straightforward because they're all of the same type, but you could try and explore the individual contributions to see whether there's a specific client you want to focus on more than the others. And the other part is down here, you're going to see like and the dislike icon. So basically this is, did you find this useful? So if you did, just like it. If you did not, or maybe you don't agree with this, you can tell us why you disagree with this. And this is going to be fed back into our machine learning engine. With regards to the interactions and the feedback, in here you have another thing which is called Mutant Dismiss. So if a particular anomaly is something that, hey, it's interesting, so you agree it's right, and it's definitely something that's causing problems, but maybe there's nothing you can do. Maybe it's a warehouse where you can't retrofit any antennas or do any configuration changes because of your change management process. You don't want this to be sitting in your task list, so you just mute it. And when you mute it, you won't receive notifications, and you can leave it there. So it's still a pending task, but you can leave it there until such time as you're ready to actually fix it, and then you unmute it, and then you can dismiss it. So after you're actually done with it.
That's awesome. I mean, if there's multiple of us managing a network, this is going to be another incredible sort of feature that I can take a look at.
Yes, and that's why we've also provided the location filter. We found a lot of customers have a dedicated person on a per location basis, so that's how they're going to interact with us. Everybody's going to be, each of them is going to take care about their own location, but there's no rules of how we can use this.
Awesome.
So I will reiterate again, public beta, this is a sneak peek. Public beta starts in June, and I would like to welcome all of our customers that have a pilot license to try this out and give it a go. And the more feedback we get, and more interactions we get with this system, the more interesting everything becomes.
This is awesome, Marko. I mean, I am really looking forward to hearing from all of you customers. Give this a try. Your test flight is in June. Everybody with pilot license automatically gets signed into this. We cannot wait to hear back from all of you. Everyone, thank you so much for joining Marko and I for this particular session at Extreme Connect. Check out the other videos. We have a lot of great content for you. Thank you for joining us at Connect.
Thank you, everyone.